One of the hot topics at the moment is how to retain your key people for longer. In unprecedented times at the moment, there's definitely a skills shortage and there's a shrinking talent pool. And the other thing is a lot of the highly skilled people are retiring, and with the mature and motivated are heading into that time of their life where they're choosing other options. So it's definitely a focus at the moment on how to keep your best people and retain your employees longer. And the benefit of going to work on that is it's not only just serving you for now, but it's also creating an environment that will also attract better people moving forward. So I trust that makes sense. So in this short video, I wanted to run through with you some ideas that we put together at PROTRADE on how you can retain your best people. So let's bring up my trusted little iPad, and how about that? We've created a nice little acronym called RETAIN. Funny about that. So let's get straight into it. The first one we want to look at is recognition. Now, I'm a big believer that most people who are employed are good people. They want to show up, they want to do their best work, and they want to be recognized for that. And that can either be collectively or individually as well. So I want you to think about how you go about recognizing your team as a business leader. Now, you may have been brought up in an environment or an era whereby praise and recognition was not part of the general environment. Things have changed, things have shifted. And I want to challenge you as a leader to learn how to recognize yourself for what you've created and also recognize others. And it could be a simple thank you. It could be a more structured process whereby people perform on a consistent basis. They're eligible for, a little bonus or a reward. And that could be anything from like a gift card to BCF. But it's something that is put into place, and it could be ad hoc, but it's there because people love to be recognized for the work that they are actually doing and the contribution they're making. Secondly, we want to look at ways to engage. And engagement, think about that, is like playing a game. And if you want to keep people engaged and show up excited to do their best work, a simple way to do that is create a game around what you're actually doing. Now, that could be setting targets and objectives and timelines and timeframes for which people can work towards on projects. And it could be simple things like, a number of our clients have created games around the number of Google reviews that have been created. Now, 5-star Google reviews, that is. So, engagement is one thing by creating a game. And the second part to great engagement is communication, early and often. Keep people, think about if you went up to play a game, a sporting game, and I'm an AFL fan. So think about if you rocked up to the ground and the coach never had a pre-game chat. Quarter time, half time, 3/4 time, end of the game, nothing was said, no communication, shower, packed your bags and went. Now, you might sort of have an indication of whether you won or you've lost, but the scoreboard's important to keep you engaged in winning, and communication about what's working, what's not working, what the game plan is for the next quarter, or the overall game is super important. So think about that. Engagement is about creating the game, and it's about communication. What are your meeting rhythms? What are your communication structures that you have in place that your team can rely on as well? Thirdly, we want to teach and train. I bet that your team love to learn. Many have had poor learning experiences, but they love to learn. They want to learn and embrace new skills, both technically, and I'm going to call them the hard skills, and soft skills such as communication, as leadership, learning how to, build relationships with others, personality profiling, those types of things. And if you create an environment where you provide this employer-funded training, what you'll find is that builds loyalty better than any pay rise. Money is important. And one of the things that we're not going to talk about here is salaries, although money is important, but it's never the most important aspect of retaining great people. So what are you putting in place is a structured process to teach and to train your team. Next, we talk about accountability and creating an environment where people do what they say they're going to do. particularly you as a leader. When you say you are going to take a course of action, do you follow through? Do you commit? And do you communicate around that? There's nothing worse and more deflating than when a business leader or a business owner says that they're going to do something and they don't follow through. Leave that with me. And a lot of business owners, and I've been one of them before, has been guilty about taking things on and not following through. So create an environment where people do what they say they're going to do. I stands for inspire. Now, little asterisk on this. Inspire is not motivating people, and your job is not to motivate your team. That's an inside-out job. But your goal as a business owner, I think, is to inspire, which is to breathe life into your people, which means when they come to work with you, they want to know and be inspired about you as a business owner and also the business and where you're going. And the two key things that we talk about here that really make a big difference is the vision, which is the direction of where you're going, and your values or your core values. Oh, there we go. So your vision and your core values. Where are you going? What's the direction you're heading? What are you out to cause, to create? This doesn't have to be anything super long. In fact, it's been shown having a vision is better than having no vision, regardless of what that is. So you've been doing work with us at PROTRADE around that. Talk to your coach if you haven't really got something in concrete yet. It's always work in progress. It's in sand and not concrete. But if you want to have people show up, they want to know where they're going, who they're going with, and how we're going to play the game. And last but not least is, what are the next steps? One thing that I know about people is they love to progress. They love to learn, they love to progress, and they love to know where they are going individually. So what is the journey that you have for your team players when they join you, maybe as an apprentice, maybe a year, a first year or, technician? Where can they head to in your business? Now, not everyone wants to be leaders. Not everybody wants to be supervisors, project managers, and move into management or leadership. But at least give people an opportunity to see where they could possibly go. So can you map that out and plant the seed for a career, not just a job? So I trust that's been useful for you, something that you can take away. Look at what you're doing in your own business and ask yourself the question, based on those key points and that acronym of RETAIN, what areas and what potential and what possibilities do you have to go to work on within your business?